Hi, I'm Pat Shanks, and I'm one part of the coolest couple.
And I'm Lorna Shanks, and I'm another part of the coolest couple.
So, Lorna, I've got my handy-dandy little notebook here.
Okie doke.
And I guess this past weekend you were doing a competition.
I was.
So, you were doing what, a figures competition?
It was a figures competition, yes.
So, what's a figures competition?
A figures competition is, in essence, sort of like bodybuilding, but you don't go to the extreme of bodybuilding. So you don't build up as much muscle, you don't have as much definition, and you don't see the veins popping and that kind of stuff. And you have a little bit more body fat, so it's a little more rounded look to it.
Oh, okay. So what got you into doing weight training?
Well, basically, it went way back to when I was a teenager, and we were on the farm, and I really sucked at running, but I did. So, but lugging around bales of hay and pails of oats and that stuff became second nature to us. And then we had friendly little competitions, and I really got interested in it. And so when I moved out on my own and went to gyms, that's what I did. It was fun.
Oh, okay. And what about fighting your husband off?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Huge incentive.
So let's look a little background on this figures competition. When did you start doing this?
When did I start doing it? I was really young. I started when I was 49.
That's pretty young.
It is.
And
Very young.
So you did your first competition when you were 49?
When I was 49.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So let's clarify the difference between bodybuilding and figures. What do the judges look for?
In figures, it's an overall picture. It's like from top of your head to the bottom of your toes. It's like you still have to look very feminine. You still have to. It's all about like your hair, your makeup, your poise, your confidence. Of course, you still have to have muscles and be toned and have the definition. But it's more of an overall look. Whereas bodybuilding, they kind of look from here down. So they look at the size of the muscles, the definition, that kind of thing. So it's a different aspect.
So another question I know some people have asked us: how long does it take you to get ready for competition?
Well, the weight training part, it's an ongoing thing. It never really stops.
Fighting your husband off too, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's never stops. So the weight training part never stops. But the dieting, about 3 months before kind of thing, onto the chicken diet.
Onto the chicken diet. Oh, yeah. Okay. So give me a walkthrough. Like when you what do? You kind of walk on stage, and how does that competition? How does it work?
We walk on stage, and we have to go to the front of the stage in the center, make eye contact with the judges, and we do about 2 to 3 poses to sort of introduce ourselves to the judges. They're basically figures poses, but they can be modified to be a little bit more fun.
Okay.
But it's always about introducing yourself to the judges and getting yourself in their mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's yourself, and then you kind of walk back.
Yeah, we walk back into the line, and after all the competitors come out and do their thing on their own and go back into the line, then what they do is they bring a whole group of girls up front to do their quarter turns, which is a quarter turn to, you start at the front with your pose, you go a quarter turn to the right, then you go a quarter turn to the back, and another quarter turn facing the left, and then another quarter turn back to the front again. And there's a certain pose for each place that you're at.
Oh, okay.
Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the front, please. Thank you, ladies. You can step back in line. And I have athletes 27, 29, 30, 31, 32.
Here's a very interesting one. What do you think about walking on stage half naked? No. I mean, what do I think about you walking on stage half naked? Woo! I think you look hot, sexy.
Oh, thank you.
So when you're walking on stage towards the judges, what's going through your mind?
Pick me? No, it's basically for me, it's reminding myself to smile, to stand up straight, flex a bit while you're walking, show confidence. That's really important. Showing confidence is huge for them. Yeah, they look at confidence.
Okay. Now you're on stage. What's the hardest part of being on stage?
Oh, the posing. It's so hard because you have to tighten up everything, almost everything.
Everything?
Not everything, but almost everything. And then you got to hold it, and the back ones are really hard. And then you got to arch your back, and it's like by the time you get off stage, your back's on fire and your legs hurt, and it's tough. It doesn't look like it is, but it really is.
Just a little workout, just for whatever.
Just posing.
Just for posing.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's a question: what part do you like the least out of all this competition part?
At first I always would have thought the dieting thing, but that tanning crap is really a pain in the ass.
I try to rub that stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah, you got to put on this tanning products, and they get on all your clothes and everything. It's disgusting, and you have to sit there and get it rubbed on you, and it has to be certain. You have to be dark enough, so you got to put more on all the time, and it's not fun. If they got rid of that part, I'd be so happy.
I'm glad it's on her body and not on my body. Nothing. Okay, and what part do you like the most?
I'd say the weight training, because I've always liked that. So to me, that's fun. That's fun to me, right? That's sort of why I got into this, because I do find that part really fun.
Okay. Now I know one thing about you lose some weight, right, and some body fat. The only thing I really don't like about it is you lose your boobs. And I know there's a couple women have talked about that that's the one thing they're losing about.
A couple women,
Yeah, a couple.
They all talk about that. Oh yeah. That's, of course, they lose a lot of body fat, right? You get down to 4 or 5% body fat, and that's what those are. So
I mean, they're not muscles, they're body fat?
They're fat.
I guess I like body fat, right?
So yeah, they go away, but they come back after.
They do. Now, I've heard some people give you a hard time about your chicken diet. Could you explain that?
Oh yeah, at work or like when people see me with my chicken diet, right? They go, "Are you eating chicken again?" "Yes, I am." "More chicken?" "Yes, more chicken." "Oh, is that that time of year again? You're on chicken again?" "Yes, I'm on chicken again." Yeah, so it's not really they give me a hard time about it, but it's some fun teasing.
It's a fun teasing about playing chicken.
Eating lots of chicken.
How important is having like a support system behind you?
Oh, that is so important. It's like, well, it's with anything. You know, if you have people who are negative around you, or say you can't do something, or why are you even trying it, or they just don't get it. It's hard to get yourself motivated, right? But if you surround yourself with positive people who support you and encourage you, it's a lot more easy to go through the diet and the hard training and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
There must be days where you're really into it, and there's days you go, what the heck do I get?
Oh, I know. There's some days I go into the gym and I go, maybe not today, but you go anyway.
You go anyway.
Yeah.
Right. But so, I mean, is it any different from life? Do you find like in days in life, like it's like, oh my God, I'm on top of the world, and other days you go, what the heck am I doing here?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. I mean, even though you love something, there are days when it's just like, I'm not really into this today. Yeah, I mean, because we all go through cycles and ups and downs, and times you just don't feel like it, right?
So how do you pull yourself out of a cycle like that? How do you pull yourself up?
Basically, I force myself to go and do it, then I feel so good after. It's like, yeah, that's why I went for it, because now I feel good. Yeah.
What advice could you give to men or women who want to challenge themselves? Because you've had men talk to you about this too, right?
Yes, I have. It's a lot of commitment, dedication, and hard work. But if you want to challenge yourself in this way, just make sure you really enjoy it. Like it's something you love to do. Because if you don't, it's going to be really, really hard. Like I even talked to a competitor last weekend, and she said she probably wouldn't do another one again because she really didn't like the dieting thing. So even though she challenged herself the once, and that was good enough for her, and that's good, but she didn't like it enough to try and do that again.
Does that mean you're going to do more of this?
Yeah.
Oh my.
So,
You know,
so I love it enough to go through all that stuff, right?
You know I support you. I give
know,
you a hard
you
time,
do.
but I do support you.
You do.
Yeah. So that's right into my next question, you see?
Okay.
What's your next goal in this area?
Oh, to enter the next competition in June and to improve myself. You know, that's basically what I do it for, is it to improve myself and to grow. Yes, it's a competition against other girls and stuff, but I'm more competing against myself to improve myself, right? Yeah, and if I make steps in improvement and I grow myself, then you know what? That's what it's all about.
Well, I think you look pretty hot for an old fart.
I'll talk to you later.
Ow! I felt that. And like a question, like how do you apply this to the rest of your life, what you're doing now?
I found it interesting on the last competition, because even though I say I do it to improve myself and to grow, the last competition I had expectations about how well I would do in the judging part of it, and I didn't do as well as I had thought, and I was really disappointed at first. And then I had to remind myself that why I was really doing it. What was my why? Why was to improve me and to grow and develop and to learn some new things, right? And so once I got back into that frame of mind, it's like, yeah, you know what? There are some things I still want to improve and grow, and you know, so on to the next one.
I have to show this because you did win this one time, right?
I did this. I won a 3rd place in the Grand Masters last June.
It's a nice trophy.
It is.
It's got busts.
They're plastic.
They're plastic. And on that note, any last words you'd like to give to our audience?
Find what you love to do. Find something that you find fun and enjoyable, and commit yourself to learning and growing and improving yourself in that, and you know what, and sharing with other people and helping them through their experiences, or to get into their, you know, an experience like that. And that can apply to anything. It really can.
On that note, I'm Pat Shanks, and I'm one part of the coolest couple.
And I'm Lorna Shanks, and I'm another part of the coolest couple.
And we bring you cool tips, techniques that you can use around the world.
Thank you. And that's a take.